Meghan Markle's Netflix implosion didn't begin with poor ratings or a canceled contract. It started with cardboard signs, pounding rap beats, and a video she never should have hit record on. A moment she thought would be fierce, empowering, maybe even iconic, ended up pouring gasoline on a fire Netflix had been trying to smother. Picture this: Meghan at home, phone balanced on a stand, music blasting, flashing homemade cardboard. Signs like a one-woman protest. Each sign carried the logo of a studio, not the ones that hired her, the ones that turned her down. Paramount, HBO, Blumhouse, Netflix. One by one, she ripped them up. Then came the Netflix sign. And that's when the whole thing took a hard left. She stepped up to the lens, stared dead into it, and unloaded. Not just a few sharp words, she burned the house down. She called out toxic behavior on set, accused producers of gagging her, and even spilled unannounced Netflix projects that were supposed to stay locked up for months. Then she went nuclear, revealing the entire plot of the first 4 episodes of Season 2 of her show, before the trailer even existed. This wasn't a careless rant. It was a straight-up contract breach. And the kicker? Netflix didn't find out through leaks or hackers. Her own agent and manager saw the footage, panicked, and handed it over. Behind the curtain, Netflix was already embarrassed by the limp performance of With Love, Meghan Season 1. The second season's marketing budget had been gutted, and a big July trailer launch had been quietly killed. Their new plan? Stay quiet, pretend nothing's wrong, and hope no one notices. But Meghan wasn't having it. Feeling abandoned, she decided to promote herself by breaking nearly every clause in her deal. No behind-the-scenes gossip? She aired it. No plot spoilers? She dropped them all. No leaking confidential projects? She did it on camera. The video hasn't gone public yet. She agreed to hold it until Season 2's release, but she's still threatening to post it as her truth-telling bombshell. Netflix, meanwhile, has legal teams loaded and waiting. When they confronted her, she didn't back down. She said she'd do what she wanted, accused her team of betrayal, and charged Netflix with sabotage. This wasn't PR trouble. It was war. Now she's without an agent, without a manager, and iced out of most studios she shredded in that video. Worse, this wasn't an impulsive meltdown. She'd been planning it. Those cardboard signs weren't props. They were a warning shot. When Netflix co-CEO Ted Sarandos watched the clip, he didn't blink. Arms crossed, eyes fixed. He sat in silence for 2 full minutes after it ended. Then he turned to legal and said, "We're done. Make it clean." And that was that. Meghan thought she was exposing the machine. Instead, she handed Netflix every reason they needed to kill the deal and walk away. Internally, they'd already soured on her. The show's numbers tanked. Critics shredded it. Audience scores flatlined. Season 1 was supposed to rebrand her after the royal fallout. It became a punchline. By the time she went rogue, Netflix had already shifted ad money to other shows and pulled staff off her project. Rather than negotiate, she detonated. The problem is Netflix isn't just a platform. It's a corporate fortress with contracts, NDAs, and lawyers who don't play. Her accusations weren't shocking to them. What crossed the line was spilling unreleased content and confidential strategy, stuff that hits the legal tripwire. Her agents didn't report her to save Netflix. They reported her to save themselves. They'd staked their own reputations on her. Pitched her to the suits, swore she was a safe bet, sold Netflix the idea that Meghan could carry an entire series solo. But after that video surfaced, the whole sales pitch went up in flames, and she didn't just turn on Netflix. She turned on them. Behind the scenes, Meghan was livid. She accused her team of sabotage, claimed they were jealous of her independence, swore they were trying to control her image. The truth? They were simply burnt out. One longtime staffer allegedly told a friend, "We spent 2 years putting out fires. This time she torched the entire forest. Even Netflix's top brass was rattled. Greg Peters, the co-CEO, was reportedly shaken after watching the final cut, not because it contained any damaging secrets, but because it was erratic, off-brand, and flat-out self-destructive. Within hours, he'd called an emergency meeting with marketing and legal. By the end of the day, it was done. No third season, no side projects, no off-the-record cameos. They weren't just pulling the plug, they were cutting the cord. Meghan didn't back down. She doubled her efforts behind closed doors, approaching indie producers, smaller networks, even pitching herself for industry exposés. She tried to reframe herself as a whistleblower, a truth teller, someone brave enough to stand up to Netflix. But those cardboard signs, studios didn't see them as courage. They saw them as red flags. Nobody wants to bring in someone who might burn the set down on their way out. Netflix isn't waiting for her next move. Their legal team already has timestamps, contracts, and frame-by-frame breakdowns locked and loaded. If she uploads that, footage, deleted scenes, artistic expression, whatever, they'll come for her. Multiple clauses broken, NDAs, confidentiality, competitive disclosure. This isn't pettiness, it's precedent. If someone as high-profile as Meghan can publicly attack a partner without consequences, what stops the rest? There's quiet talk Netflix might even pursue damages, not just to recoup the wasted marketing budget, but to make her the industry example. They've done it before, quietly, but Meghan's case is different. Her entire meltdown is on camera. No spin, no plausible deniability. Meanwhile, the ripple effect is brutal. Netflix froze all future royalty payouts from With Love Meghan. Her team's arguing the footage was never officially released, but Netflix calls it intent to distribute, and that's all they need to keep the money locked. Other studios are silent in public, but blunt in private. Hands off. Her name is being flagged in submission systems. Agencies that once fought to get her meetings are suddenly restructuring, avoiding new clients, or just ghosting her. She's not officially blacklisted, but unofficially, loud and clear. One exec summed it up best. She brought a sword to a handshake. They'd tolerated her quirks, last-minute edits, sudden rewrites, diva requests. But leaking private projects, trashing your own show, and humiliating collaborators on a global stage, that's dangerous territory. Even her fans are split. Some call her brave for speaking out. Others are confused. Why sabotage your own show? Why attack the platform that gave you full creative control and millions to build your brand? The answers don't feel strategic. They feel personal, emotional, impulsive. And that's the crux of it. Meghan wanted total control over the narrative, her image, her life post-royalty. But she picked the wrong battlefield. Streaming giants don't argue in public. They fight with silence, lawyers, and locked doors. Now she's on the outside, seeing just how small the industry gets when you're known as the problem, not the talent. She's reportedly trying another rebrand, maybe a podcast comeback, maybe a book deal, maybe self-produced content. But credibility's hard to rebuild when your last big partnership ended in legal threats and scorched earth. Netflix has already moved on. Their new campaigns are bigger, safer, easier bets. With Love, Meghan will drop quietly, buried between splashier titles, no press tour, no premiere, no farewell. Just a discreet upload, a week of awkward tweets, and then silence. And Meghan? She's left with a video nobody wants, a message nobody's buying, and an industry that won't forget how she tried to play this, no matter how many times she rewrites the script.